So, the Bilingual Brain. Now, when I came to read this book, I thought that, well, basically, I wanted to read this because I wanted to know what are all the benefits of of being bilingual. Because I feel like I don't want to say I'm bilingual, but I know another language. I do know another language, and it may be cliche, but Spanish. I'm pretty sure every American at least knows some Spanish. I'm pretty sure it's normal. And I thought that there would be nothing but benefits for being bilingual, but now that I've learned there isn't just all benefits for being bilingual. But we should also start this off with, what type of book was this? And I was really wondering what type of book is this? Cuz the author, through his word use and his tone, he doesn't make it sound like being bilingual is better. It's like he's in third person and he's just giving out the information. So it's not really, I mean, it's practical because, he's pretty much giving me a study on saying, okay, this is good, this is the bad. But, he's not saying that it's good or he's not saying that it's bad to be monolingual or bilingual. So I can't say that's something new because obviously read other books like this, but, this is kind of like just like a big study, basically. This is a big study. So, so along with we could just go into what are the basics and I mean not the basics, what are the benefits and the drawbacks to it. So we can start with the drawbacks. So the underpinnings are with being bilingual is your reaction time is more. You have more reaction time, and this isn't good because you want less reaction time. I guess I don't. What is reaction time useful for anyway? Maybe for emergency situations, but I feel like for most people, including me, like a good reaction time isn't needed if I'm just gonna be reading, you know, a lot of books a day. So, if you're an athlete, you know, it might not be the best to be bilingual. So we'll get more into that later because it might actually help you. But the some other negative things is your vocabulary, and the bilinguals are seen to have less vocabulary, which I think I might be the outlier in this situation because I actually, I have a relatively well developed vocabulary, and because I don't know if I would count as bilingual, but I do know another language, and I have read some books in another language, in Spanish, I should say. So maybe, hey, maybe I am bilingual. But we can go into the benefits, because there's a lot more benefits than the drawbacks. And the first one is if you're bilingual, you're, pretty much more likely to have less cognitive decline as you get older. Simply because you you pretty much you know another language, and if you know another language, you're most likely gonna be more social. Like that's the thing. It's kind of based off of inferences. Like okay, you know another language, you're more likely to be social. Cause who would just know another language just to know another language? Well, I guess some people could do that, especially now in this time. Like I pretty much just know another language to know another language. Except I learned it from my mom, so I'm not sure if I know it, if I learned it just for, if I'm doing it now just to know it or whatever. But hey, I know it. So other than less cognitive decline, the other thing that you have is your basal ganglia and your thalamus will be bigger, and bigger, especially with the brain. It doesn't always lead to better, but with these like micrograms, because that's what the brain is measured in. It's measured in micrograms, and people who have just like a little more micrograms tend to have more IQ, and that's what I learned while reading the race or the intelligence differences in races, because pretty much the Europeans had pretty much one of the biggest brains, other than the Asians. The Chinese Man, the Chinese, they are really like that. But pretty much your brain is just a little bit bigger if you're bilingual, which, it doesn't make that big of a difference, but it helps you out, especially your basal ganglia, because that's where our habits are stored in. I don't want to say are stored because, it's like there isn't like one specific part of the brain to do something, but your brain will perform a little bit better if you're bilingual. Just a little bit though. Like you're not gonna be. I don't think you're gonna become like these like super geniuses. And I found out these super geniuses, they don't really do nothing else but study. Like Stephen Hawking, he pretty much just was studying his whole life, and I would have thought that he would do like something else, but no, he just went to school, studied. I mean, hey, that's kind of what I do, except I do a little more stuff to enhance my cognition. I have some videos on that. But the another benefit of being bilingual is you just have more opportunities, and that's something that they talked about here. You have more opportunities to talk with more people, to get more social, and again, being social, that leads to less cognitive decline. So it's kind of like there's some benefits and drawbacks to it. I think overall it's a pretty good thing, especially if it helps you be more social, because I don't know if anyone else knows, but I know this, and I know this this is the truth to me, is that humans, we are made to be social creatures. So being social is good. And it's ironic I say that because I pretty much do the opposite now, but I still believe that is very important. I think I'm the kind of lone exception to it. I'll try to talk to people though. I'll try to talk to people, but I really just be just alone doing my thing. just just be reading. But hey, I'll get into more later on. But what? I don't want to say there's a bad meaning to this book, but it kind of just provided some more information on some things that I wanted to know about being bilingual. So it was a good read. It only took about, I would say, 1 hour to finish. Just something pretty normal for me. So this was the Bilingual Brain.